Packed densely with national parks, monuments, and a myriad of unique towns, the Black Hills of South Dakota is one of the most rugged yet beautiful travel destinations in the United States. In today's video, we are going to show you the best way to enjoy some of the best spots around this area, including Devil's Tower, a massive volcanic spire rising high above the Wyoming prairie with countless stories to tell. Then step back in time to a lawless cowboy town to see where Wild Bill was shot and buried. Then enjoy our Mount Rushmore experience, driving the scenic Iron Mountain Road, walking right up under the monument, and attending the patriotic evening lighting ceremony, as well as many more. Let's dive in. Our first stop was Devil's Tower National Monument. Located in northeast Wyoming, Devil's Tower is a massive 867-foot tall butte made from volcanic igneous rock towering high over the Great Plains. The summit of the tower is nearly as large as an entire football field. Once we arrived, we headed out on the Tower Trail. It is the most popular hike in the park, so make sure to arrive early. The Tower Trail makes a loop around Devil's Tower, allowing you to see it from all sides, starting out as a wheelchair-accessible paved path before entering a quiet forest. You know, when I seen Devil's Tower in pictures, I honestly thought that it was more of like a straight tower shape, but in reality, it's actually a little bit curved, and each side of it looks different. It's not always like square. Some parts of it almost look like a triangle or like an arrow. Really interesting. As you go around this trail, you get different views of it, and each of them are unique, and the sun hits them differently. Beautiful. As you walk along the path, you will notice small cloths attached to trees. These are Native American prayer cloths, representing the spiritual connection many tribes have with Devil's Tower, so make sure not to touch or remove them. Many Native American tribes and peoples consider Devil's Tower a strange phenomenon, whether spiritual or extraterrestrial. One of the most popular was a Sioux people legend of two boys lost in the prairie who were being hunted by a giant bear. Realizing that they would not escape, they prayed to the Great Spirit for help, which lifted the boys into the air on a giant pillar of rock. Determined, the bear attempted to claw its way up from all sides, failing to do so and leaving massive striations. So an interesting story that I don't hear most people talk about when they come to Devil's Tower is the story of George Hopkins, a man who actually got stuck on top of Devil's Tower. So back in October 1941, right before the U.S. was dragged into World War II, George Hopkins was a daredevil seeker who was known for parachuting and landing on top of crazy things all the time. And so one day he decided to take on Devil's Tower, and he brought himself a rope to, obviously come down once he had landed on top of Devil's Tower. The problem is that the rope wasn't long enough, and so he actually got stuck up there for days until rescue climbers were able to make their way up to the top of the tower and get him off. And he said he was never happier to be back inside and away from the tower. He was up there for days, and it got so cold up there because it was October in Wyoming. And it's just an interesting story because most people talk about the climbing adventures that people would do, the first people who climbed up, but not the guy that got stuck at the top. Out of the prairie. Devil's Tower is also a premier rock climbing destination from expert climbers all around the world. It is considered one of the finest places in the world for crack climbing. While you are here, make sure to look closely as you might catch someone climbing it. That's a drippy t-shirt.
That is a drippy t-shirt.
His name is Lloyd.
I love him.
Oh yeah.
Me and my homie, right here.
You and your homie.
We go way back.
After enjoying our morning in Devil's Tower, we headed back into the Black Hills. For lunch, we went to Antunez, a traditional Spanish restaurant popular for their street tacos. I got the beef chili Colorado tacos, and Rachel got the beef enchilada. Alright, well, we just got out of that restaurant. Honestly, out of any place we've been, I would highly recommend going there. The enchilada, her enchilada was gas. My tacos were so good. Best tacos I've ever had. It's authentic Mexican food. It's not terrible price-wise, but it was so good.
Yes, sir.
Next, we headed into Deadwood, a popular tourist spot known as the former lawless cowboy town, where murder, prostitution, and gambling were very common. Gambling is still a popular attraction in Deadwood to this day and is legal. The town has a couple of nice historical spots we will show you, as well as plenty of bars, casinos, and places to hang out. We were here in Deadwood during Sturgis, which is an annual motorcycle culture festival which draws in about 500,000 people every year to the Black Hills area. Because of this, Deadwood was a little different than usual. Our first stop was Saloon number 10, the famous saloon where Wild Bill Hickok was shot and killed in 1876. Wild Bill was in the saloon playing a game of poker when a man who had been insulted the previous night walked up behind Bill and shot him. The poker hand he was holding was 2 aces and 8s, giving it the nickname Dead Man's Hand. This saloon was also frequented by many famous Wild West characters, such as Calamity Jane, Doc Holliday, Buffalo Bill, Wyatt Earp, and many more. The saloon is filled with Old West iconography and artifacts, frequently hosting live music with folk songs as well as reenactments of Wild Bill's famous shooting during the summer months. After this, we headed to the Deadwood Railroad exhibit. It does have a peculiar location, being behind the cash register down in a basement at one of the shops, so be aware of that. That's super sick. You can see where it's going.
Yeah. Look.
This exhibit is owned by the Northern Hills Railway Society. It is an absolutely massive exhibit with a 70-foot hallway you can walk down to view the majority of the area. As you look around, you will see an unbelievable amount of detail on each and every part of this exhibit. Different towns and parts of South Dakota from various points throughout history are put up here, and they are constantly adding to it.
Can you find the skunk?
Can I find the skunk?
I found the skunk. Look, he's right there.
You found a skunk.
I found the skunk. Literally got, it's a U-Haul with the Mount Rushmore on the side, and they're bringing out a piano. Look.
So they got a little mine, and you go down below.
And then you got the little miners. Oh, that's so sick. Wait, look back there. Look in there. Look. It's so cool.
So you can run the trains for 10 minutes for $1.
Yeah, we were wondering why the trains weren't running, and we were just like, why the fuck aren't they running? We ran past this sign 5 times.
Yeah.
So cool.
It turns everything on. Now the police car is running.
Oh my god! Wait, look, the lights are on and everything. Look at the fire cars. Like, look, the little traffic thing.
After inputting the $1 to turn the machine on, this machine activates all sorts of other cool gimmicks inside the exhibit, adding another awesome layer to this unique spot in Deadwood. Well, this is a really cool hidden gem. It's really hard to find. It's behind the cash register downstairs, but if you get down here, it's a huge model train museum with a ton of detail, like a ton of detail.
Okay.
If you like model trains, check it out.
Okay, well,
Our last stop was Mount Moriah Cemetery. Known as the oldest cemetery in Deadwood, it's established in 1878. It is a massive late Victorian style cemetery with some notable people buried here. The entrance fee is $2. The main attraction here is the grave of Wild Bill Hickok. After his death, nearly the entire town of Deadwood attended his funeral, and Calamity Jane convinced his friend to move his grave up to Mount Moriah. His grave is a 10 square foot area with a monument on top. Calamity Jane is also buried next to him, which was her dying wish. The rest of the cemetery was absolutely beautiful with the backdrop of the Black Hills scenery. If you head to the back of the cemetery, it also has an amazing view overlooking the entire town of Deadwood. Overall, this beautiful cemetery is a must-stop for the views of Deadwood from above, Wild Bill's gravesite, and the beautiful forest surrounding it. The whole area felt like hallowed ground. While we were walking around the cemetery, we noticed that there were a lot of people that were walking on the grass, sometimes over the grave sites just to see Wild Bill's gravesite, and also people that were laughing and making jokes about the names of the people. So please just remember to stay on the paths, don't disturb these people's graves and have respect for this gravesite. I know that it's a tourist attraction, but at the end of the day, there are actual people that are buried here, so just be respectful.
These are people that are buried under the ground. Like, you're walking on top of their grave sites.
After leaving Deadwood, we made a quick stop in Keystone on the way back. Our last stop was to the headquarters of Dahl's Chainsaw Art, a chainsaw art shop turned tourist attraction by the talented Dahl brothers. They have several locations throughout the United States. Their most famous pieces are their giant statues, and we had to come here for one in particular, the world's largest Bigfoot statue. Billy the Bigfoot is 25 feet tall and weighs over 20,000 pounds. A team of artists created this piece in a matter of months, and it is a great piece to take pictures with. Finally, after all these years,
Finally, the Bigfoot.
we found him. Hey yo, work it on the Keystone.
Okay.
Most patriotic wooden chair ever. Not again.
Not again.
This is a quick stop that you can make to walk around and check out all of the awesome pieces that they have here. Star of the show. Now, before we get into Mount Rushmore, many people consider Mount Rushmore to be kind of underwhelming. You'll see many videos online of people walking right up to the memorial, turning around, and then leaving, and just calling it a day. But our experience in Mount Rushmore was fantastic, so I wanted to show you the ideal way to experience Mount Rushmore to have a better time. The next day, we started our day in Mount Rushmore by driving on the Iron Mountain Road. The Iron Mountain Road is a 17-mile scenic drive from Custer State Park all the way to Mount Rushmore. It takes about an hour to complete this drive. The main draws to this road are the beautiful meandering switchbacks through the Black Hills, as well as the two vehicle tunnels that frame Mount Rushmore off in the distance. The second tunnel in particular has an awesome perspective and is much closer to Mount Rushmore than the first one.
Whoa!
Told you it's sick. Driving through these massive rock tunnels was super fun, and I highly recommend taking this route. It is absolutely gorgeous. After arriving at Mount Rushmore National Memorial, we headed to the main amphitheater. From this point, we started on the Presidential Trail, one of the best ways to see Mount Rushmore. The Presidential Trail arcs directly below the monument, allowing you to get a closer perspective of each of the president's heads, while meandering through a beautiful ponderosa pine forest. Each head on the monument is an enormous 60 feet tall. Each eyeball is also at a width of 11 feet. These heads have been scaled to equal the height of a 465-foot tall man, if they carved out the rest of the body.
Cartoons have lied to me.
Why is that?
I always thought that you could see up their nose, but you can't. You can't. There's nothing. It's flat.
Huh. Interesting.
They lied to me.
It took them 14 years to carve Mount Rushmore. They first used dynamite to blow off the beginning portions of the mountain, followed by a process called honeycombing, where workers would drill the small holes close to each other, then remove the loose pieces by hand. In total, nearly 500,000 tons of rock were blasted off the mountainside, and they were able to carve around 120 feet into the original mountain face. So Rachel was just chilling on this bench, but she found the best view of Jefferson.
I told you.
Stop picking his nose. Just saying, by the way, go clockwise because you literally go down all the stairs. If you go counterclockwise, you are going up all of these. She has problems. Mild autism, we think, possibly. I wouldn't be shocked.
It's called fawnism. It's called having fun.
It's called being a silly goose. Near the end of the trail, you will find the Sculptor studio, the place where Guts and Borglum worked on Mount Rushmore from 1939 to 1941. Inside, you will see his 1/12 scale models of the heads as well as many tools that he used in the design process. Stick around for one of the many ranger talks they have here, which go into more detail on the techniques they used to create this monument. After finishing the Presidential Trail, we went into the Lincoln Borglum Visitor Center. Inside the building, you will find the exhibit hall, which has plenty of information on Mount Rushmore. There is also two 125-seat theaters where you can watch a 13-minute film detailing the monument's history.
The bar extended out over the faces and could be rotated to any degree. A weighted plumb line extended down from the bar to the surface of the model. The protractor angle, as well as the position and length of the plumb line, were all recorded. On top of the memorial,
I personally believe that learning about the history and construction of this monument is vital to having the full experience here. Don't skip out on this part. Later that night, we returned to Mount Rushmore for the evening lighting ceremony. Alright guys, well, after our fantastic couple of days in the Black Hills, we're going to finish it up with the lighting ceremony.
Patriotism, I love being American.
Yes, sir. That's so cool. The Mount Rushmore lighting ceremony is a patriotic display which occurs every night at about 9 p.m. Each night, the massive granite heads, once shadowed in darkness, are brought to life by lighting up the entire mountain. This is super cool. There's so many people here. The ceremony begins with a ranger talk detailing the history of the National Park Service and why it is a vital piece to American conservation. Next, a short film goes to the history and significance of each president on Mount Rushmore. As the film nears its close, you can feel the anticipation building throughout the amphitheater as the song "The America the Beautiful" swells. Then at its apex, the lights flick on, illuminating the mountain as the entire crowd cheers. Oh yeah. Even on a random weeknight, this amphitheater was absolutely packed with enthusiastic people. After singing the national anthem, the final part of the ceremony begins. Where active duty, veterans, and families of those who died serving our military are invited up to the stage and fold the American flag. This was definitely the most patriotic thing I have ever seen out of a national park unit, and it is a must-see when coming to see Mount Rushmore to get the full experience. Well, that's it for the ceremony. It was honestly just so beautiful. Just seeing them folding the flag, the lighting ceremony, everything, it was amazing. Very, very patriotic, and a great way to end our time in the Black Hills.
I just wanted to say God bless everybody that has served in the American military. I guess that's just pretty much all I wanted to say. God bless everybody that serves.
All right. Well, tomorrow we move on to Wyoming. Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. Unfortunately, we did have a lot more footage on this trip, and especially in the Black Hills portion of the trip. We went to Badlands National Park, Custer State Park, Wall Drug, Wind Cave National Park, and a ton of other places in the Black Hills. But unfortunately, one of my SD cards got corrupted when we came back. I don't know exactly what happened, but it was tragic news, and honestly took the wind out of my sails for the better part of a couple of weeks in finishing this video in particular. But, you know, I got the motivation, life moves on, to continue making the rest of this series. Now for the Yellowstone Teton stuff, that'll be just fine. It's not going anywhere. We have all the footage, so the best parts of the trip are still here. But unfortunately, most of the Custer State Park stuff and all these other places will be just in our memories and not be able to be put on YouTube. But I did want to show you guys a compilation of some of the stuff that we do have. So here's that now. Enjoy.
Stay hydrated.
What the fuck? What happened?
Nothing.
Make a wish. That was a terrible prank. What if
If I would have executed it perfectly, it would have went in your mouth.
Rachel didn't get her neck because she's lame. She wanted to go shopping instead. So I'm sitting here by myself, drinking my coffee. Missing out.